Hey guys, welcome to Home Built by Jeff, and in this episode I finally get a chance to drive Harry. Finally!
Alright, so before Mrs. Jeff goes and takes Harry for a drive today, I'm just going to go through and finish off a few things on the mufflers that I made last week. I've ordered some heat shielding from Raceworks just to help protect the fiberglass of the rear bumper. This muffler that I made up last week, I still haven't actually physically heard it myself with the valves open yet. I've still got to obviously wire that in, but there's a couple of little things I'm going to do to this just before I go. I have trimmed the tips. The tips are now trimmed off to the right length, but I want to clean up this where I've sort of ground it back. I want to try and polish that up a little bit and also sort of clean up a few of these welds. And I'm also going to add a little bit of reinforcing in between the mufflers on the top, so the stress is not all in the X pipe. I probably should have a flex joint in this somewhere, which I might add in into one of these tubes around along here. Should be relatively easy to do. Anyway, I'm going to add some reinforcing now just to firm up this, tie these mufflers together at the top, and then we can get it back in the car and see what we can do about wiring. Alright, so the exhaust is back on, and now it comes to time to actually wire it all up. And the way this unit comes is each side, each valve came with a kit with a sort of this receiver box, a couple of plug lengths, and you can plug it into a cigarette lighter. So obviously this stuff I'm going to sort of cut up and redo. It came with two of them, so one for each unit, and then they're set off by a little sort of remote similar to what you'd use on a garage door or something like that. So I assume, as there is no actual instructions on this, that press one button will open it completely, the other button will close it completely, sort of done by this unit. So what my plan is I'm going to run both of these into one unit, so I have one remote, because I don't want two remotes for this setup. So I'm going to trim these wires now and see what I can do about setting it up. I'm going to put it into the engine bay back here, back by the sort of hidden under the back here, back by the little fuse panel, and I'll run it through one of the fuses for the ECU so that it is actually fused, and we'll see if it works. All right, I've wired it up, and I can hear them going. I can hear both valves working and opening and closing. So now it's time to start the car up and see what sort of difference it makes, and see if all this effort has been worthwhile. So I can appreciate that on camera that didn't make any difference, and that's because in real life it didn't make any difference. I could barely hear a very slight difference when I opened the valves, but there was almost nothing in it. It was very disappointing. After all that, it really has not made much difference at all to the sound of the car, which is quite frustrating, to be honest. I may need to redesign this later and make some basically just be straight open cutouts, which will make a difference, but it's going to be much, much louder. that's something to consider for a later date. But I think it's time to go and get Mrs. Jeff in the car and take this for a run and forget about all that work I did on that exhaust that doesn't actually change it. Ugh. All right, it's that fateful day. Mrs. Jeff still hasn't driven Harry yet, but I think it's finally time to...
It's time for Harry to see what a good driver feels like.
I'm scared, but let's go for a drive. It's really mean.
My driving loafers on. The clutch is heavy.
Did you need the seat forward?
No.
Okay.
Your legs aren't like way longer than mine.
Okay.
You're like almost the same height. Alrighty. Oh!
Let's hope it's got enough battery.
Okay, so which first? Is that first?
That's first, yep. And the and the handbrake goes all the way till it's flat on the carpet.
Okay. Woo. There we go.
And we're rolling.
Is that second?
Nope.
Where's second?
Keep going down.
Oh, I got it.
There we go.
Whoa, this is so awkward. This is weird. And indicators, left, right, left.
That's it. Yeah, that's right. You're right.
All right, so. Oh, she's chunky. Where's third? Ah, there it is.
The gearbox is a little vague.
It's really, really vague. Okay, I'm going to go up this way.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm sort of getting it more now.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay.
There we go. It's a long throw on the gearbox.
It's really long, like I feel like I've got to really lean forward. Maybe if you're Neanderthal arms, you're okay.
What are you trying to say?
Don't even get me started on the getting in and out of the seats.
Yeah.
Like,
Mrs. Jeff is not a huge fan of the seats.
I find once you're in them, it's like being in I imagine being in a baby capsule's like, because you are very firm in them, and like, tell you what, if you have a big meal, you're not going to be comfy in these seats.
Yeah. Yeah. I've said before, I may look at doing something about changing the seats at a later date, but
Yeah,
all part of the drama of this car.
it is dramatic. Like it's a thing, isn't it? It's not just a jump in and kind of drive sort of car.
As you'll notice, the clutch still sort of, the friction point's very shuddery. It doesn't seem to have a smooth friction point.
Yeah.
It really seems to sort of shudder and it grabs. It's getting better. I think it's just wearing in, but yeah, we'll see how that goes moving forward.
It's just different. Like it's just getting used to it, I think.
Give it a little bit uphill.
It's a thing. It's well known. Women love it.
This is my sort of go-to test. Bumpy country road. It's pretty rough, this road. And Harry is really
handling
quite
it well. Obviously, he knows he's in the skilled hands of a master.
or something like that. Drives compared to the Datsun.
Oh, this is way better.
This
got
is
like more. This is smoother. It's got more power. It's gruntier. The Datsun was good, but this is more exhilarating.
Right, the Datsun was a gorgeous car, beautiful car, but it was like driving a truck. Doing the country speed limit on a country road, you can feel. That's why they made those speed limits, because it was. You felt like you were driving 100 kilometers an hour, whereas a modern car, like you drive a modern Camry and you don't even notice it.
No,
on the Datsun, you were hanging on. This was three times the price of the Datsun.
Yeah, this grips the road way better.
Yeah, because this is about the same age, but this was definitely a much more refined car.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is much smoother. This is a lot more power. Mind you, this has got a great engine.
This is definitely much more powerful than the Datsun. Yeah, you can really feel the difference. Same size engine, they're both 2.8 litre engines. This has had a lot more money spent on it. much more
expensive engine, yeah.
Expensive engine. Feel the no power steering.
Okay.
Reverse is that way down. Coming. There we go. So how are you finding the how heavy the clutch and the brake is?
Yeah, it's not too bad. The way you were speaking, I was thinking I was going to have to, winch it in, but yeah, it's fine. But sometimes that's good because then you sort of can feel, I don't know, it feels just more solid and...
Yeah, it feels like you're actually...
You're actually doing something, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love it. I really love it. When I first got in, I was like, this is horrible, especially putting the handbrake down flush with the carpet. I was like, what's that? But this is good.
That's probably something I need to adjust, to be honest.
I can't believe you kept it from me for so long.
Well, to be honest, if I'd let you drive it at the start, you probably would have hated it more.
Yeah.
It was...
I need the more finished version.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, and there's still more to go. There's still more power to go. Obviously, we've got more revs to get out of it, to actually tune it all the way up. I'm happy that you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know, like when I drive Harry now, like I can sort of see Archie, sorry. I can sort of see now why people want to go out for drives. Like I've never understood why you want to do that.
Bunch of bikes riding past. It is a nice Sunday.
It's a beautiful Sunday here. It's a gorgeous day. Go for a drive.
Yeah. Yeah, so how do you find this compared to Archie, do you think? Do you feel the age of this car?
A little bit, but to be honest, for me there's not a lot of difference in driving it. I find it similar because it's so well, it's so well engineered. Like these cars are so good.
Yeah.
Like it's really held up. Difference is that obviously the seats just not used to wearing in a seat that hugs you. Like I've never driven a race car or anything, so being in this type of seat's very unusual, and you got to kind of pretzel yourself into it, and it's not pretty, it's not dignified. You got to fold yourself in, but once you're in, it's okay. And it's loud. I mean, obviously the window's open, but it's a bit louder than Harry. Because in these modern cars, you feel so hermetically sealed. Some of these modern cars are like spaceships. You're like in a bubble.
Which is nice. It's great for a daily drive, but I feel so much more
connected.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm just speaking in cliches, but you do. You're more connected.
Yeah, it's just invigorating driving this car. You really feel like you're involved, and it's just
definitely.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely much more of an older car guy than the modern car stuff. I appreciate the modern car stuff, and if you got to drive every day, absolutely. But for me, the old stuff is just so much more fun.
Yeah, like I get it now. I get this whole. I've seen people out driving around just for pleasure. This is nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you got to think and move with your hands at the same time. Whereas in these modern cars, we're so kind of removed from what we do. I mean, people don't even need to drive manual anymore. It's just jump in, push a button, and steer. And
this is not a car you're going to be texting in.
You should never be texting in a car.
Exactly. Yes, I think all kids should learn in a manual car, so they've got more to do and less time to be able to spend on the phone.
I have to say, obviously in New Zealand when I learned to drive, it was mainly manuals. There were a few automatics, and I think in the UK and New Zealand, there still is a lot of manuals, but Australia and the US, lots of automatics.
Manuals are a dying breed.
Not so type.
They waved the wave.
Goes around the corners really well.
Yeah, it sticks nice.
It really sticks. This is so cool. I love it.
This is what all that time building was all about.
I wondered what you were doing in the garage for 5 years.
And you're getting used to the gearbox. It's
Yeah.
like it's clunky.
It's got its own little peccadillos.
There's things to keep making it better, to keep refining it to.
What else are you going to do to it? Apart from the gearbox.
There's a few things people will just have to keep watching, eh? Is that Spike in the McLaren?
And I love the engine. Not words I'd ever think I'd hear myself say. Ever. Coming from a non-car family, I mean, we had cars, but we weren't like,
Yes.
you know, they were a vehicle for transportation. It was nothing.
Yeah.
They weren't cosseted and beloved. They were
a tool.
They were just a tool, yeah.
No, thanks, Neil. The engine is.
Yeah, thank you, Neil.
All right, so overall, seemed like you.
I love it. It's mine.
And on that note.
Oh.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Mrs. Jeff's breaking Harry already.
So Mrs. Jeff breaks the beetle.
Looks like I need some more window
Sorry,
winders.
I didn't realise how strong I was. Did have an extra big breakfast this morning.
All right, guys. Well, Mrs. Jeff has driven it, and I think the prognosis is that she likes it, and I might not be getting the keys back. All right, guys. That's it for this one. If you're enjoying the videos, make sure you do all the usual stuff, like, subscribe.
And thank you so much to the people who follow us on Patreon. It really helps us out and keeps the tools coming.
They do. So, yes, join us on Patreon, watch videos a day early, ad-free. And make sure, if you're shopping for any parts for any of your Porsches, make sure you compare prices at Porsche Parts by Jeff first. All right, guys, see you later.